discipline, really, the discipline's gone out of this place. We got sound down here. Jess is having her own dance party. The floor manager's sitting on the end of the table. Where's the... Thank you, ma'am. The first letter tonight is, my ex-wife left me 5 years ago for another man with a bigger, well, it's a P word, pocket. Thank you very much. I was in... Floor manager, shut up. I was in the peace movement in the 1960s, second letter, and I'm just staggered that there is complete absence of any anti-war sentiment in the community. And the third letter tonight, I met my wife while I was on holiday in Europe. We married after a month of total romance. Catastrophe happening. We'll be back in about 20 seconds with the panel and a great show for you tonight. See you then.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Lovely to have your company. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour. And my favourite people back on the show tonight. Hello, Clint.
Good evening again.
Hello, mate. Thank you for coming back this week.
Pleasure. The 18.
The 18. The 18. Do you remember the 18?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Do you?
Great.
What was your favourite TV program of all time? Oh, now he has to think about it. Put him on the spot.
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you.
Becky, what was yours?
Oh,
Yes, nobody's saying sweet and sour. You know, there's a good intro. Sweet and
sour, of course,
Sweet
Gary,
and sour.
of course.
Okay, and you're going to be complaining to Malcolm Turnbull that community TV's been taken off the
Definitely,
air as well.
100%.
Because you won't be able to see sweet and sour
I
on
won't be able
this.
to watch myself and all our friends.
That's right,
on the
but
TV.
we probably will go as we did last time when community fell off the planet. We went to Foxtel.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Nice to have you here, huh?
Thanks,
nice to have you, Clint. Alex. Hello, my darling.
Gary,
Always lovely to
when
have
am
you.
I coming over for dinner?
What are you making and bringing?
Oh, I make a good risotto, but you're going to make me moussaka.
Yeah, I can make a moussaka.
I know.
What's in moussaka?
Eggplant, mincemeat, is it? And cheese sauce.
All right. I know what to put in there for you. What are you cooking, Slim?
I don't mind risotto, but I'm very fond of a moussaka.
Are you?
Oh, I love it.
Are you a good cook?
No, shocking.
No,
I make a couple of things really well, and my kids love my spaghetti carbonara.
Yum.
And I make a few other different... good fried rice, that sort of thing, but...
Stop
on the
there.
whole-
We're coming to your place for the
Okay.
carbonara, mate.
Sounds good.
All four of us.
Look at me. Do I look like I know how to cook food? Of course I do. It's a hobby. You know?
Welcome, everyone. All right, here we go. First letter. Dear Mitch and panellists, my ex-wife left me 5 years ago for another man with a bigger pocket. I was her 5th marriage. She was my 3rd. I'm well aware that she always leapt to men who could support her better than the last. Now she's almost 50 and beginning to look her age, but she's still very pretty. Well, for the first time in her life, she's been dumped by her 6th husband. And she has immediately run back to me asking me to take care of her and telling me things like she really has always loved me and she wants me to want her back, etc., etc. I haven't repartnered since our breakup, and even though I had a few small relationships in the last few years, I felt that I still had some residual feelings for her and needed to work through it all. Now she's back in my face and asking to come back into my life again. I have both alarm bells ringing and feelings of delight at the same time. Quite simply, am I going to get hurt again, and what should I be doing, panellists? It comes to us from Michael of Armidale in Victoria. We're going to Alex first on this one.
Michael,
Alex?
do you remember that show, Lost in Space? Warning, warning, danger, Will Robinson, danger. I said, I mean, can't you tell her 5th marriage?
6th? That was her 6th, and she's coming back. He was her 5th.
She was your 5th.
No, she was her 5th.
She was her 5th.
There, she was on her 5th.
He was her 5th marriage. You were
Yes.
her 5th marriage.
And his 3rd.
Are you stupid? 5th. 5th.
Sounds like a horse race.
Oh my God. 5th. And
She wants to come back.
what a stupid. I mean, like, that should have been warning bells for you right there. 5 marriages down.
You don't like the number 5?
No, but you know, like, and it's your 3rd. I mean, why get married Why get married?
Elizabeth Taylor syndrome.
Doesn't matter. I mean, like, the thing is, why do people get married and then they're like heartbroken? Oh, it didn't work out. Well, because it's your 5th marriage. That's why.
He's been
Just
married
don't get
3
married.
times. 3 times, and he's writing to
Her
us.
5th and...
We love the letters.
But you know,
keep
you've
sending
answered,
them in. We love the
you've
letters.
answered your own question here. Am I going to get hurt? Yes. You're going to get hurt again if you go back. Don't go back.
Slim, any redeeming features here?
Well, I've got to be honest with you that, you know, you got to give this guy a little bit of credit, you know what I mean? Because I believe in his heart of hearts, he obviously still has some form of affection for this girl. He's considering marriage again, or is he repartnering? I've never heard of the word repartnering before, but, you know, if he's thinking about maybe considering marriage again, I find that quite ridiculous, because if she's turned 50, I'm presuming he's around the same age. At 50, really, why get married? I mean, the idea of marriage to set up a family and so forth and a home is one aspect of it, which you probably do before you're 50. After 50, marriage is not a prerequisite to have a relationship. So I don't really see any need for it. So I would suggest that, sure, accept her back, but make no official commitment to her. Just have a wonderful relationship, hopefully, for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
Clint, he's been rejected once. Is that the only thing that's roping him back in?
I think so. It's just when you said Elizabeth Taylor before I read Michael from Armidale, I thought I didn't realise Liz Taylor watched the show, because that is how ridiculous this is. That is how ridiculous this is.
It would smell at her place if she was watching.
I can't even offer advice. I mean, if you need advice on this, mate, there is seriously something wrong.
He should be giving us advice.
He should
He's
be giving
got
us
more
advice.
experience than anybody.
What he should be doing is giving his friends back the presents they've had to buy 18,000 times for the marriages.
How many toasters has this guy
I
got?
feel sorry for his friends. If any of his mates are watching, if he does it again, do not refuse to buy another gift. That's insane.
After 3 marriages, he might be getting it right. You think so,
hope
Becky?
so.
I don't think the 4th time's a charm, sorry to say. There's an old
What
saying...
would you do? We've taken the mickey out of him, but what would you tell him to do? He's written to us and he's sincere about him saying, oh, look, I've got mixed feelings.
I don't think he can be sincere. I mean, seriously, you've asked the question, am I going to be hurt again?
He knows he's going to be.
Yes,
Is that what
you
you're
know,
saying?
exactly. You know the answer to your question. They say don't go back for sloppy seconds, don't go back for sloppy 6.
Is that what they say?
I mean, 6? No, this is 6. He's going to be her 6.
Where's the sloppy
Don't
coming
be the
from?
6.
I'm reading the wrong letter.
I want to know who
seriously,
actually
don't
says
go back
don't go back
again."
for sloppy 6. Goodness me. They get
They
around
say
that
don't go
one.
for sloppy
You
seconds.
saw a what?
A German video
A
once.
German video. Just one.
Subtitles.
Don't talk about
Just
it.
once. It was enough.
That was sloppy.
They should just do
Oh.
unconscious.
Maybe our friend Michael
Yes,
should get
you're
that
going to
German
get
video.
Just do
and watch
the
it before
Gwyneth
it's strong.
Paltrow and Chris, you know, do conscious uncoupling.
Conscious
Oh, God.
uncoupling.
That's pretty cool. I think uncoupling to his, what is it, repartnering. I
Repartnering.
like that. That's good.
Repartnering.
We're discovering a whole new language for
Conscious-
Have you
relationships
people
here
heard
at
that
Sweet and
expression
Sour.
before? Repartnering?
It's like the regifting of partners.
This could be started the new Freudian
That's right.
concepts
Exactly.
developed on Sweet and Sour.
Exactly.
Sweet and sour specialists in repartnering. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the peace movement. It ain't happening here. When we come back, more of Sweet and Sour. See you soon. Do you?
Yep.
Over?
Anything.
Welcome back. And if you'd like to send a letter to Sweet and Sour, send it to the address that's about to appear on your screen right now, which is letters@sweetandsour.net.au. .au. There it is. Our vision switcher is asleep tonight, isn't he? Or send it to our website, which is sweetandsour.net.au. Give us a like on Facebook and say hello on Twitter as well. And for everybody who does send us a letter, and we do discuss, we're going to send you to the movies courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. There it is, The Little Death. Nice little sex movie in a foreign language. They speak in tongues.
Very fond of those sex movies in a foreign language.
Here we are, having returned almost to the same point as we do on a regular basis, gearing up and up to go warring again. Obama wants to build a coalition of the warmongers so we can repeat the same mistakes that we have failed to learn from decade after decade, century after century. I was in the peace movement in the 60s, and I'm just staggered that there is a complete absence of any anti-war sentiment in the community. Why were the 60s so switched on and today we are just lambs to the slaughter? Why is there such a deafening silence with the younger generation to voice any discontent with the warmongering coming out of Washington and Canberra? When will we take to the streets to reclaim our peace in the world for our piece of the world? And it comes to us from Jeff of Wembley in WA, and we're going to Becky first. Why are we so sleepy on this issue?
I don't think if it's a case of we're being sleepy. I'm a peacekeeper myself, but I don't believe in sitting silently. But you're asking about the younger generation and why is there such a deafening silence. You're not going to see us going to the streets necessarily. You're going to see us doing things like hitting YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, doing all these kinds of things, because that's how we get our messages across, our distaste for things, our passions, the things that we believe in. So if you're asking about the younger generation and what we're doing, it's that. For example, at the moment, a big movement across Perth and WA is Screw the Taboo. Hashtag Screw the Taboo.
What's that about?
It's talking about depression and suicide and things like that. So, I mean, that's how we get things across.
Okay. Different generation. So it's still happening, but it's evidenced in a different fashion. Clint, what's your take on this? When did you ever take to the streets?
Well, I haven't. I'm lucky that Beck brought it up because my good mate Tim Guest started the Screw the Taboo.
Oh, really?
He has, and I've jumped on board as one of his superheroes. And it's right. It's the only way to get the message out there is to get to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That is how this generation will have their voice heard. That's what they know. That's what they know. That's what they use.
Okay, so if we were to get 1,000 people into the streets, how many people can we get on the internet for this sort of thing?
Probably 10,000.
Wow. How many have you got so far?
We've got just over 2,000.
Okay.
Within a month. Within a month.
Wow.
Okay.
There you go.
Within a month.
It's growing.
It works.
In the first week, how many did you have?
200 or 300.
Wow, okay, it grows.
It works.
You've got 10 times that already.
That's right.
Wow, amazing.
It works.
So that's what happens now. We don't take to the streets, we take to the...
No, I don't think people would pay
Younger
attention
people.
to a protest march or something anymore.
But the old people aren't protesting this either. Could it also be that, you know, at this point in time, Slim, I'll ask you, are we now the Peaceniks going to look after humanity rather than we're going to war? It's a very different issue to what we did.
I always
when
feel
we
when it
stepped
comes
into
to
Iraq.
these sort of like global issues that we really have to start looking in our own backyard first. And I think if we are under threat from what's occurring in the Middle East at the moment, then I totally disagree with Jeff's attitude that Obama is building up a coalition of the willing to start warmongering again in the Middle East. This is a specific problem at the moment that needs to be dealt with. I do believe that it may have a long-term effect in Australia with the connection with some of the people that have been disenfranchised since the previous two Middle Eastern conflicts. And I do believe that since they've been rezoned in Australia and they have this desire to go back and help their fellow countrymen of their origin, is obviously, you know, fairly admirable in some ways, but not with the way they're behaving. Not in any sense. You can't condone that under any circumstances. So I don't totally agree with Jeff that this is part of warmongering. I think this is, at the moment, is essential. I think it needs to be done for the future safety of Australia.
You need to fight for peace.
But always look in your backyard first. How is it going to affect us? Our government tells us it will affect us, unlike the previous Bush administration that did misinform us previously with the Middle East. This is essential. I don't think it's warmongering, and I think people at the moment in Australia, in particular, are probably the most peace-loving and most pacifist they've ever been in their entire cultural history.
This is the coalition of the peaceful.
Totally, and it's
That's what we're
arguably
going
the most
to
successful
strive
melting
for.
pot of any society, I think, in the world, because by isolation, we just have to get on. Why? Because it's too far to bloody swim, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. For evil to succeed, good men need only do nothing. Alex?
War. Huh. What's it really good for? Absolutely nothing. I tell you.
Say it again.
I tell you what, I don't agree with when you say there's a complete absence of any anti-war sentiment in the community, because I know in my community, people are saying, you know, I don't want this to go to war. You know, like we are concerned about it all. But then what can you do? There's nothing. We can't do anything, really.
Why
Really?
not? You can take to the. Why wouldn't you take to the streets as they did in the 60s?
You can go.
Are you too busy to do that?
No, but it's not going to do anything.
Beck said, and Clint's jumped straight on and said the younger generation actually do feel strongly, and they
you can be
Twitter
a keyboard warrior. That's going to get
That's
you
what they
far.
are.
Yeah, but it's not going to. I just think it's just like politicians. You can go, you can say anything you want. If they're going to do something, they're going to do it. So if this is going to be done, there's nothing we can do about it. Or if it's not going to be done, there's nothing we can do about it.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
But by not doing nothing, that's worse because people are scared. Like we're a scared nation at the moment.
What do we do?
People power is in saying something, you actually condone the action.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah, but you can say something and it doesn't get. They don't listen to you.
Yes, they
don't
do.
hear
If you say it forcefully
I don't know.
enough, they do.
Yeah,
I've been
how
involved in
forcefully?
campaigns. You can get things across.
Not
Elections
always.
have been won by
They're
one
not
vote.
always. They're not always
How many gay
successful.
That's
whales
right,
that
because you
Gary
don't have the
tried to
majority
save
of
in the
people.
first place? Anyway,
So I think what we should be getting everything together is to saving, sweet and sour on community TV.
I agree with that. That's spot on.
We
That's,
like to hear
There
that.
you go. We
That's
We'll
need
go
to do
more
that.
over that.
Let's get that one
You see them
sorted
marching
first.
down the streets? Let's save sweet and sour. Let's save community TV. Thank you, Jeff of Wembley. Wonderful conversation there. When we come back, we're talking about quick courtships. Any hope for them? Some blokes already got married. When we come back, more of Sweet and Sour.
Sweet and sour, I love you.
Happy topic. You don't want to know what we were talking about. Dear Sweet and Sour, I met my wife while I was holidaying in Europe. Much happier topic. We married after a month of total romance, and she happily hopped on the plane with me, left her European home, and moved here to Sydney with me. Together, we are happy and in love. That's where it ends. The moment we include others, there's a problem. We went to an intimate dinner party of 6 couples. Her social skills, I found, were not the best. She made no conversation with anyone, even though they tried to engage her. And when we sat at the dinner table, her manners were so atrocious, I was totally embarrassed. She couldn't even hold a knife and fork properly. When she's with my family, she wants to leave quickly. Because she's so far from home, I'm at pains to make her feel comfortable, but I realise that I'm compromising my interests. While life is still romantic for us, she's not necessarily interested in the things I am and begrudges my time spent away from her. She's a little stubborn and fiery and not easily told. Can it last for us, or do you feel I've made a mistake that I know so many have made in the past? Because as they say, love is blind. Will of Cogra Bay in New South Wales. Slim, what's the mistake he's made here?
well, he needs to go to an optometrist to start with. That might sort of achieve some sort of solution when it
Love
comes
is
to
blind.
realising if love can be visualised at all. Love is blind. I mean, this is quite unfortunate. Obviously
He's got a home and he doesn't like her.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the way it sounds like to me is that she's awfully good in bed, but you've just realised that you're going to have to deal with her personality now that you married her. And this is not working out too well. I mean, maybe the hint was that when you met her, you're eating with your hands. It wasn't just a cultural thing at the time. I mean, this one was making more, I'm going to eat my hands, I'm going to eat like this.
She could be better looking than him too. You don't know that. She could be
Well,
a
I
real
mean,
stunner.
what's that got to
He's
do with
basically
anything?
said that together we're
wants to
happy
get
and
to
in
Australia.
love, you know what I mean? That everything's fantastic when it comes to the romantic side of things. But, things like, cutting her toenails next to him and that type of thing and all those sort of,
Alex, she's out of her comfort zone. She's in a new country.
No, I think
And he's being hard.
his name's Will, right?
Will.
I think Little Willie was thinking for Big Willie. That's the problem here because obviously, like Slim was saying, she's good in bed. But then I had the other option. She might have just thought, oh, you're from Australia. I like to go to Australia, and just married him to get here. And then she's just bored. and
But
she's
tell me
brain
what
dead.
he does. What does he do? He's got this woman here.
Well,
She's come 12,000 miles for him.
You've made a mistake.
So what does he do?
Well,
How do you know he's made a mistake,
Well,
though?
he's complaining about her.
She comes from a very different culture.
Well, yeah.
And as Slim
well,
said,
either-
they
okay,
may
what
eat with
you
their
should do, if you want to
hands.
stay with her because she's
Hands.
great in
Sorry,
bed,
hands.
then you teach her how to eat. You tell her how to do it and tell
Take
her
some
how
time.
you feel. If you don't tell her how you feel, she won't know. And that's what you need. Communicate with your partner. It's all about communicating for a successful relationship. Instead of whinging about, oh, she's this and she's that, but she's great in bed. Do some work yourself, you lazy bastard.
Beck, she's also out of her comfort zone.
Well, that's what I was going to say. At the end of the day, communication, as Alex was saying, is really important. But the poor girl's in a foreign country. Do we even know how much English she speaks? And he's talking about his interests. Yep. Does he even know what her interests are? Has he even helped her to find a community of people that she can feel comfortable with, some interests and things that she likes to do? Relationships are compromising between the two of you. You can't expect her to just jump on board with your life just because you've landed in your own country. So look after her a bit. You married her, give her a bit of TLC, try and find a compromise between the two and make it work before you just ditch it.
Knives and forks are a bit of an issue for me, though. You know, I'd sit there and absolutely be
I think
aghast.
he's quite judgmental, though, by the sounds of it.
What does he do? If someone can't use a knife and fork, what does he do? Is there a finishing school that you can send him to? You'd look for one.
I mean, there's got to be...
Did he not take you to dinner?
Tell me, Pamela, I mean, we've all had this idea of, like, eating with their hands every day. I mean, there's something like fundamental about it. There's something, you know, rustic about it.
There is. My sister tells me off all the time for eating salad with my fingers and picking it out of the bowl. Sorry, Stace. I got the message now.
Nigella makes eating with your fingers sexy.
Yes. That's what she's done.
When I eat fruit salad off my wife, having a knife and fork sometimes can be a bit dangerous.
And unless she's from India, then eating with your hands isn't particularly common in Europe.
Clint, last word to a male on this one. Well, is it sexy to see your woman eat with her hands?
I reckon it would be a bit sexy, but look, after a month, Will, you've certainly chosen the black caviar of wives, mate. I mean, she can't use a knife and fork, she can't hold a conversation, she's fiery, she's stubborn. Like, where do you sign me up? I mean, that is just ridiculous. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to play sweet and sour perfect matchmaker here. I'm passing this lady's details on to Michael of Armidale, letter number 1, because he's looking for wife number 8 at the moment.
Oh, that's right.
It could just be a handball of the wife, I think.
Totally.
All right, well, who do you like to give away the pair of limited edition Sundays courtesy of a long truth?
No question.
Definitely will.
Will?
Go for it, Will.
Will of Cogra Bay, New South Wales. What is this side of the paper?
I'm happy about Will. Will's good.
They're willing to give it to Will.
He needs the glasses. He needs those glasses. Love is
He
blind.
does.
You know?
All right, Will of Cogra Bay, a pair of
Charles.
limited edition sunnies, courtesy of Alon Treves and Aussie Opticals. We've got to go. What's coming up? When's this ball you were telling me about?
November 7th or 8th from memory. I will let you know more about it.
And if people want to know about it, they log on to what?
Screw the Taboo on Facebook.
Screw the Taboo. And again, it's about
mental health, depression and suicide in Aussie males.
OK, Beck. Any website you want to push?
Oh, just myself, of course.
Which is?
www.beckwalker.com.au.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, darling.
We'll see you again soon. OK. How's the world of art going?
Lost my mojo.
Oh, but that's OK. Creative talent. 9 units of input, 1 unit of output. Yep. That's the minimum for creativity.
Anyone wants to commission me, I'm here.
What do you do?
Portraiture and pet portraits. People and pets.
There you go. Slim, telethon?
Yeah, mate, coming up in about a month's time. It's going to be a big weekend again.
Fantastic,
as it always is. The marathon. Marathon.
How long does it take you to recuperate after telethon?
About 11 months. But that's okay. I'm
See
getting
you
used to it.
next year.
Exactly right.
We've got to go. Thank all of our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew.
Thank you, Gary.
And thanks for watching us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye now. Too good. Cheers.
Hey, my neighbour that's moved in next to my